Good morning and welcome to today's daily market outlook. Last night something happened because Trump's deadline ended and there was news last night. This news made EU push up way higher because the DXY sold off extremely hard. And this was because Trump announced that there will be a ceasefire. And because of this is bad for the dollar, so the dollar took off into the downside, resulting for me in a stop loss for EU, as you can see, and also a no tap for my AJ. It just took off, as I see more often with the JPY pairs. That's why I love to trade them with a buy or sell stop, but in this case I couldn't because I waited for this high to go and I wanted to trade it back down lower, and that's when I never got tapped in. Also, there was another position that I was in that also took stop loss, and that was the UJ. This was, by the way, a perfectly trade technical wise. If we look at the technicals, everything was checked off, so this is just a green trade with a stop loss as a result, so that's totally normal and fine. But beside all of that, let's start diving into the pairs, starting with the DXY. If we look at the DXY, what we can see is that we now broke this daily demand zone. Yesterday I misspoke myself as supply, but this is a demand zone. With this last buy up before now the sell down becomes our supply zone. So we put that in. And what we can expect is maybe a pullback into here and then down lower, or at least to have DXY pull back into the 50% level together with the yearly open to maybe give a reaction back up to the upside, maybe like this. Or we continue down lower like this to grab a lot of the liquidity that's still situated over here, and then see a change of character. But as of now, that's going to be a waiting game for me. Then when we look at EU, of course, my stop loss got hit and the price broke back bullish again. This is something that we could have expected, and as I said yesterday, I also wanted to close the position around break even, but after all, price didn't come back, shot back up into the upside, and I took this loss as just a valid loss. What is happening now is after the break of structure down, we see a pullback. So we also have this supply zone still open, as I talked about yesterday. And what would be really good and normal for price to do is come back into the supply zone together with the yearly open, show us some change of character, and then we can still get into the move. This would also mean that the DXY made a good low and is ready to trade up higher. So then the pair the pair linking, the currency linking between DXY and EU is also in line with each other, and this would mean that the higher time frame is again in line with the lower time frame. So for now on, there is nothing to do for me. We can remove all of these because currently we are trading bullish in a bullish order flow from here, bullish chain, and into here. We can see this and then this and this again as a demand zone, but I like to grab the whole demand zone. So maybe we get a retracement after here to here and then back up higher, or we just wait for price to get into this supply zone. I'm going to place a limit there as well. And then we can trade down lower with EU. Then on GU last night triggered both of my alerts that I had set and that I talked about yesterday. So I can remove these lines. We took out a lot of liquidity currently, but there's also a lot of ugly lows here. So let's just wait what price will do. If we can make a good high here, maybe see a change of character and then trade down lower, I can get into shorts, but currently there is no reason for me to be positioned in any shorts, and the longs are also gone for me. So GU is not ready to trade in my eyes, and we have to wait for a better setup to form. Maybe even if we break this high, then look for the retracement and trade it back up higher. That would mean that DXY is trading down a lot lower. But as for now, there is nothing to do for me on GU than to wait. Then we get into NU. NU, as I discussed, I wanted to wait for at least this supply zone to get broken, so we got bullish confirmation, because at this point we took out a lot of liquidity here. We made a nice buy up, a sell down, and now we broke into the upside. So that means that this now is your new daily demand zone. Let's mark that one out. Daily demand. So now we are going to wait for a retracement back to the yearly, maybe monthly open, as I had drawn out here before. And from here on, we can continue up higher for now. So let's see what that gives us. I'm going to place a alert here as well and take a look at the 4 hour. That is indeed a really big zone, but that's a daily, so that's fine with me. I don't think we're going to retrace all the way back down here. The only thing is that there's not a lot of liquidity in this move because it was a news move. So I always keep in mind that it could be possible that we take out this low and this move as well. In that case, that's why I wait for confirmation. So inside this zone here, I will be waiting for some kind of confirmation that we want to trade back up higher. Otherwise, if DXY flips around back into the upside, then we can just continue down lower. So that's why we wait and not just limit this supply zone. Then we have AU, and AU retraced back perfectly into premium. As you can see, I had draw it out before, where I wanted to see price retrace back into premium, take out some highs, maybe even this high. And if this shows me then a change of character, then I'm really happy to sell this back down into the downside, once again together with DXY being ready to trade back up higher. Then we have USD CAD. USD CAD also retraced back into premium, took out some liquidity. Yesterday I said I wanted to see the high swipe one more time, but that didn't happen. Now we broke into the downside once again, especially on the 4 hour, creating a supply zone over here. But we can also say that we have a supply zone over here, the last move. So if we can retrace back into here, maybe the daily open, we can look for a position down to at least the yearly open. If we go to the daily, that would be perfectly connecting with the last demand zone that we talked about. Also, the USD being bearish currently, that would be a perfectly good setup. So I'm going to place a alert on here as well. If it gets triggered, I will watch price closely and maybe even get in on the new breakdown. So maybe if we come into here and we do something like this, and I can place my sell stop over here with my stop loss above this zone, and then towards here, maybe even a bit lower. I hope it retraces a bit more so I can get my position in somewhere here, because I always want my stop loss above a high that's safe for me. This would be even better, but then around yearly open I can get a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So something like this would be a really good position for me. So I'm going to monitor this. Then we have UJ, and of course, as I talked about in the beginning of the video, I took a stop loss on this position, but this position was perfectly fine and within my trade plan. We broke up, we retraced to a discount, we took out a lot of liquidity, we broke up, I was in with a buy stop, price consolidated a lot, and then eventually on the news last night it dropped down really hard together with the DXY. So as for now, it's a bit unclear for me, but I think there's a lot of room to retrace down lower. So maybe if we can get back up to this high here, to this zone. Let's see, where is it? Bearish chain. Maybe if we can retrace back up, I would love to look for a sell. And then maybe towards the yearly open at least. But let's see what price gives us. As for now, we are still bullish, so I am not looking for sells because this is the low that needs to go. So let's just watch this in the coming days and see what will happen. Then we have USD CHF, and of course this pair also started to trade down lower. We took out a lot of liquidity here. We break down, we come back up. I wanted to see this high taken out because this was the order flow that started to form here with breaking the highs. Once again, there are a lot of lows, but we are still bearish or bullish swing structure wise. So at least this low needs to go, then look for a retracement and trade back down lower. But we have to watch the DXY closely. And currently it's a bit of a rough market for me personally. I experienced that the positions that I miss go flying towards TP because I am waiting for my plan, and the positions that I am in, because they are technically correct, they don't always go to TP, and I ride them for like a week, and then eventually they end up being stopped out. So it's a bit rough for me currently. Then we have the basket. As you can see, we retraced back down lower after touching that 0.5, so there is still room for downside in my eyes. It would be nice if we can take out some liquidity. There is some liquidity situated over here with this liquidity high here underneath this supply zone together with the fractal high currently located there. So maybe something like this, and then continue back down lower towards this low, but we'll have to see. I don't think AJ wants to retrace all the way back to here, but for now my position is still there, and we can look for some other positions on other pairs maybe. But watching the basket, it would be really nice, even though we took out some liquidity here. So if you consider this a 4-hour break of structure, it's really like internal structure. But if you do, yeah, then we took out liquidity there. We can look at this. Then once again, the 0.5 is located over here in the supply zone. So would be nice if we can see a retracement a bit down higher, or a bit up higher, to see if we can get into any position with the other pairs that are in my watch list. Then I want to have a look at AJ. AJ, as we said, finally chose a direction, so we broke up into the upside. As of now, it's still really consolidating for me, and I am not going to trade this pair as of now. We took out some great liquidity, but with the yen being really bullish still, I definitely don't want to, bearish still, I don't want to look for shorts here. But maybe if we look at this last move here, we have the yearly open exactly around the 0.5 retracement here. So maybe if we get a retracement and we wait for some confirmation, then we can get into the next long to the upside. Then GU also took off yesterday, and as you can see, there's not a lot of confirmation being given. It's just price shooting away, and sometimes it is like this and you miss out on the move. But because I said that I want to see the basket retrace a bit, but I don't think it wants to retrace really deep. So we can maybe wait for something like this, and you can look for a retracement trade, but this is not something I do because I want to trade with the trend. So I would be waiting for a retracement and then some more confirmation that we can continue into the upside. So I will be waiting for that. Then AJ, I talked about it a few times already now. It literally just took off without retracing back. We are really bullish, but I need price to redevelop here a little bit because I can't trade on this price action. What we can see is that we made a demand zone, the daily demand zone over here. So we can draw that in, daily demand. So maybe if we come back into that daily demand zone together with the weekly and monthly open, and that would be perfectly fine with my setup that is already here, then we can look at something like this and trade up higher. But it could also mean that we just retrace back a little bit and then shoot up into the highs once again already without us, as it did as of now. NJ also retraced into the upside a little bit. We came back into this demand zone that was still relatively open here. This could also be one, but I didn't draw it in because we didn't retrace all the way back. I don't look at it too much because we were trading down lower and I wanted to look for shorts first. But now still we are in supply, so there's no long to be taken. If we look at shorts, then there's also nothing to be taken here because once again price has to retrace first and then continue back up together with that JPY going further into the downside. So no trades for me here. Then yesterday I monitored this price really closely because on the 4 hour, as you can see, we broke the little supply zone over here. This was the one I talked about yesterday. I wanted to see broken before I wanted to get into any longs. We touched the yearly open now. We came back into this demand zone here, but it was not a really nice low, as I told yesterday, because this wick didn't take out this wick and then broke up. The move into the upside was not in one move, but we retraced back and then up. So it's not really convincing for me that it wants to go up higher. But if the JPY basket starts to sell once again, then of course it can be interesting. So together with this yearly and monthly open, I will be waiting for maybe something like this and then get in on the with a buy stop on this move. But as of now, there's not a lot happening that I can act upon. So once again, it's going to be a waiting game. CHF JPY made 2 4-hour fractal breaks up. A third one, as I can see here, but also not really convincing. There was not a really great move to catch here. Also, if we look at this move here onto here, we want to see a retracement to at least a 0.5. Let's check this one. Yeah, this also didn't take out this low, so maybe something like this, taking out a lot of the liquidity here, and then a confirmation would make this pair ready. But as of now, as with all the other pairs, a lot of big moves happened, but there's nothing for me to really trade currently. So once again, a waiting game. Then last but not least, we have gold. Gold, as you can see, didn't retrace back down, consolidated a lot and then shoot back up into the upside. That was also because of the news of the ceasefire. Yeah, gold as of now, not really any nice price action. We didn't retrace back to the 0.5, so this becomes the new high of the swing move. Also on the lower time frame, we did break up here once again. There is some liquidity situated over here, So maybe if we break this and we see some confirmation, we can trade this back up higher. Otherwise, I would like to see a deeper retracement into the downside, taking out some liquidity and then wait for confirmation. But as of now, nothing really nice to trade for me. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching if you watched all the way through. Tomorrow I'm back with a new update. Sadly, I took 2 stop losses this morning, or actually this night, but this is part of the game. And beside that, there is a lot of waiting going on for me from my side, because there's not a lot of clarity in the market currently, or I missed some moves. Once again, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.